It was late, and before going home I thought I'd nip into a cafe for a cup of tea and a sandwich. I found one down an alley near the station. They'd run out of pretty nearly everything, but I got a tomato sandwich, and before I ate it I went to the toilet. I washed my hands, turned on the hand dryer. What came out was a pretty poor flow of air, coming out in kind of short bursts. And it wasn't very warm. And actually it was a bit damp. I was just about to leave the toilet when I heard a cough. It seemed very near, like from behind the wall, or in the wall. As the cough came out, a bit more of the drier blue air, then stopped. I thought that was odd, and I looked more closely at the dryer. Touched it, and it wobbled, so I got hold of it and shook it. I don't think I pulled it, but it came away in my hands. I had the whole dryer in my hands. On the other side of the dryer, in the hole left in the wall, was a man. His face, that is, the man's face. He was standing behind the wall, or in the wall, with his face behind the dryer. All I could see of him was his face. I said, "Did you just..." And before I could finish, he said, "Yep, that was me." Clever cakes and other stories. Clever cakes. Once there was a girl called Masha who lived with her granny at the edge of the woods. One day Masha said, "Granny, can I play outside with my friends?" "Yes, Masha," said Granny, "but don't wander off into the woods, will you? There are dangerous animals there that bite." Off went Masha to play with her friends. They played hide and seek. Masha went away to hide, and she hid right deep in the woods. Then she waited for her friends to find her. She waited and waited, but they never came. So Masha came out of her hiding place and started to walk home. She walked this way, then that way, but very soon she knew she was lost. "Help!" she shouted. "Help!" But no one came. Then very suddenly, up came a massive, muscly bear. "Aha!" said the bear. "You come with me, little girl. I'm taking you home. I want you to cook my dinner, wash my trousers, and scrub the floor in my house." "I don't want to do that or anything like it, thank you very much," said Masha. "I want to go home." "Oh, no, you don't," said the bear. "You're coming home with me." And he picked up Masha in his massive, muscly paws and took her off to his house. So now Masha had to cook and clean and wash and dust all day long, and she hated it. And she hated the massive, muscly bear. So she made a plan. She cooked some cakes. And then she said to the bear, "Mr. Bear, do you think I could take some cakes to my granny?" "I'm not falling for a stupid trick like that," thought the bear. "If I let her go to her granny's, she'll never come back." "No, you can't," he said. "I'll take your cakes to her myself." And he thought, "I'll eat all those cakes. Yum, yum, and yum again." "Right," said Masha, "I'll put the cakes in this basket. Don't eat them on the way to Granny's, will you? Because if you do, something terrible will happen to you." "Of course I won't eat the cakes," said the bear. As soon as the bear's back was turned, Masha jumped into the basket. When he turned round, he picked up the basket and walked off. After a while, the bear got tired. Ooh, that basket was so heavy it was pulling off his arm. So he sat down. "Now for the cakes," he said. But Masha called out from inside the basket, "Don't you eat us, Mr. Bear. We're little cakes for Masha's granny." You should have seen that bear jump. The cakes heard me. Oh yes, Masha did say if I ate them, something terrible would happen to me. I'd better leave them alone. So up got the bear and walked on. and on and on until he began to feel hungry. He thought, if I could eat the cakes without them knowing, surely nothing terrible will happen to me. But how can I eat the cakes without them knowing? And then he said out loud, "Ooh, I wonder if those little cakes would like to hop out of the basket and come for a walk with me." But Masha called out from inside the basket, "Don't you dare touch us, you great greedy glut. We're little cakes for Masha's granny." The bear nearly jumped out of his jacket. "Woo, hoo, those devilish little cakes knew that was a trick. What clever cakes. Next time I won't say anything at all. I'll just sit down and gobble them up. Yum, yum, and yum again." So he got up and walked on and on and on. But now the bear was getting really very, very hungry. It felt like there was a huge hole in his belly. This time he remembered not to speak. Very carefully he sat down, and slowly he reached out his massive muscly paw for the basket. But Masha, peeking through the holes in the basket, could see what the bear was up to, and she called out, "Don't you dare touch us, you horrible great greedy glut. We're little cakes for Masha's granny, and if you touch us, we'll jump out of the basket faster than you can blink, and we'll eat you up, ears and all." "Brrr, zow! Those cakes must be magic," said the bear. "I'd be crazy to touch them. I'd better take them to Masha's granny as quickly as I can, or something terrible will happen to me." And he hurried on to Granny's house. When he got there, he shouted, "Open the door, Granny." Granny came to the door, and when she saw a great big bear standing there, she was scared stiff. But little Masha called out from the basket, "Look out, Bear, your time's up. Now we're going to eat you." Bear dropped the basket, turned, and ran off shouting, "Help! Help! The cakes are going to eat me! The cakes are going to eat me!" As soon as the bear was off and away, out of the basket popped Masha. Oh, how pleased Granny was to see her, and how pleased Masha was to see her granny. They hugged and kissed each other so many times that there were no kisses left till the next day. "What a clever girl you are to trick that big bear," said Granny. "Never mind that," said Masha. "Let's get these cakes inside us." And that's what they did. Yum, yum, and yum again.
Now, it would be great if you subscribed. That is, you become a subscriber. Look out for the subscribe button. What happens, you see, is that I make new vids every few months, and then I post them up one a week for a while. So if you subscribe, you get to see the new ones just as they come hot off the press. Eeeew.